there's one thing you know about me, it's that I love talking to people, and normally I meet my issue haver. But this week I got an email from a person who didn't want to be identified for personal reasons with an issue I couldn't believe. They said that drug tests are being fraudulently passed using synthetic urine that you can buy over the counter. Surely that can't be true. Well, here you go.
Introducing a urine fetish kit. Available over the counter for $149.99. Perfect for having a good time and pretending you haven't had a good time.
But will it pass the test? Got to make sure it's all dissolved. It's a pass. Negative for drugs. Good on me. Well, that's me testing it myself, but surely the experts can pick it up.
Synthetic urine is very challenging to test for because it is designed to mimic exactly the urine.
Dr. Mina is one of Australasia's leading experts when it comes to urine testing.
Would synthetic urine, false wee-wees, would that pass a urine drug test?
Absolutely, it would, yes. We are not specifically testing for synthetic urine, which is very challenging.
How do we fix that?
It is not part of the standard that Australia and New Zealand share in drug testing, and more need to be done to ensure that we are analysing proper sample before we are issuing a report. I believe it is like the elephant in the room.
Just if you had elephant urine and human urine, could you tell the difference between the two?
I haven't tested elephant urine before,
Neither.
so maybe I'm not qualified to answer that question.
Yeah.
A lot of people I've talked to have been really surprised that this product even exists, let alone is being used for drug testing. But it does, and it is. So let's go behind the issue. Urine drug tests, or wheeze twiddlies, are actually used quite a lot in New Zealand. From people ordered to take drug tests by the courts, to people who need a test for operating heavy machinery, to elite athletes representing our country. Go the Blackburns! When I went to the Big Three about this experience spotting synthetic urine, Oranga Tamariki politely declined to be part of the story. WorkSafe said that they don't give advice about drug testing, so also didn't want to talk, while the Sports Integrity Commission jumped to help, saying athletes can be tested at any time, in or out of competition, by trained officials. And while they haven't had any Kiwi athletes attempting to use synthetic urine here in Aotearoa, it has happened internationally, famously by Hand of God Maradona and Bite Your Ear Off Mike Tyson. Now, there has already been an attempt to restrict the sale of synthetic urine in 2021 with National's Matt Ducey's Members Bill. However, it was thoroughly voted down. Boosh! And hasn't sifted the light of day since. So, where does this leave me? Cheating a drug test can have massive and dangerous ramifications, and we know synthetic urine can be used to do it. So the question remains, why is it allowed to be sold? Hello. Hi, Ben.
Hey, how are you?
Karen.
Yeah.
Have you heard about people using synthetic urine?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we have.
Yes, yes.
And what do you think of it?
Oh, look, it's cheating. It's cheating. And if you're cheating a drug test, you're potentially affecting someone's life.
But Glenn, have you seen one of these?
Yep, prosthetic penis. Yep, I've seen plenty of those.
But does it work? Like, would it work to...
Oh, look, there's a risk that they could get away with it, but it's still very challenging with a properly trained technician to be able to produce a urine sample and get away with it. Come on through.
So now, what would happen in here?
Okay, I'm going to ask you to produce some urine.
Yes.
Up to at least that line.
All right, well, I'll just go give it a go.
Perfect.
Thank you.
See you
Cheers.
soon. Good luck.
Thank you. Oh, there's no door on the toilet.
Oh,
No, it's okay.
cosy.
How common do you think it is?
In this clinic, we had a person try and cheat with some synthetic urine today, but unfortunately... Today? But the vessel they had it in actually burst, so they synthetic urinated onto the seat.
Where would you be standing to keep an eye on me?
So I'd sort of stand just over in this area here.
Yep.
I'm no closer than a public urinal at a
Yes.
rugby match.
You guys love standing next to each other to go for a wee, don't you?
It's a great way to talk to people, meet people.
Is it?
Yeah, superb.
You do that, eh? Is that what you do?
Give it a shake, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of integrity tests in relation to, our guys are pretty well trained to pick up people that are fiddling around with anything other than a normal urine production.
Yes.
one of the first things they do is they do a visual check.
Yes.
So they look at it visually. They'll test the temperature on their hand to see if the temperature feels okay.
Is that like when you're testing a baby's milk?
Really
on
similar.
your elbow,
Yeah.
and you just pour some of it actually on your skin?
No, you actually pour it, sorry. No, you just hold the cup. We try and touch the wheeze.
I was going to say, I think that's a bit of an issue for you
that's
guys.
a bit gross. Feels it warms the touch.
That's when you start to think, hang on, this might be false urine.
Yeah. If there's any concerns, we'd say that's an invalid test.
Right.
You're going to invalidate it. We're not going to test it at all.
Yes.
If you wanted to go through a drug test, you'll have to provide another sample. Chances are your Wizinator is empty by that stage. And so
It is, it's completely empty.
You're not going to be able to use that again, so this time it's going to be your actual urine.
As always, this isn't a one-sided issue. Synthetic urine is sold as a fetish product, but is that just a cover?
Well, in my world, we clinically call it urolagnia.
Urolagnia?
Yeah, commonly referred to as water sports or
Yes,
golden
golden
showers. But really, it's just referring to someone who's got a sexual attraction to urine or the act of urination.
Morgan Penn is a renowned sexologist who wants to normalise the way we talk about this stuff.
How common do you think it is as a fetish?
Well, actually, it's a kink.
What's the difference?
So the difference is a kink is something that is deemed as a little bit more uncommon to the normal sexual act, and it builds a lot of arousal and can really enhance the sex life.
Yeah.
Whereas a fetish is something that you actually need for arousal.
How many people do you think would have this as one of their kinks?
What I have seen is that it is quite common.
If, say, I had 10 people in my house, how many of them would be?
Probably one.
Oh.
It's really hard, right? Because people have to be honest to get a good gauge on
And
these.
a lot of people aren't honest about this kind of thing.
And who's
You know?
out there door knocking and
I would like to be.
Okay.
Maybe I should.
We could.
We need more data.
I'd come with you.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Why would you want to use pretend wheeze when you've got heaps of your own real wheeze?
For a lot of reasons,
Oh.
and here's one that you
Okay.
probably would have never thought of. Speaking to a dominatrix who's a friend of mine, she had urinated on her client, and next thing he starts turning up with a big rash, and she said, have you got any allergies? And he said, yeah, I've got a nut allergy. And she'd had chicken satay for dinner the night before, and it had brought him out in a rash.
Right.
But also it's a great beginner's starter pack to playing with urine.
Right.
Because some people like the concept of being piddled on, but then the reality of doing it freaks people out. So it's a great thing to try it before you actually let loose with your own bladder.
Matt Ducey was on the front lines of banning synthetic urine in 2021.
When this bill first got pulled, the media wrote a title, Ducey taking the piss.
As a local MP for Waimakariri, I had a constituent who came and saw me. Now, he owned a big agricultural contracting business.
Yeah.
He had some of his staff that had used synthetic urine to pass a drug test when they'd actually been using cannabis.
Right.
And I was quite surprised how accessible synthetic urine was. But not only that, what really annoyed me was how openly they were flouting this product as a way of cheating a drug test.
The Labor government said it's okay. That is disgusting.
The Greens were one of the 4 parties to vote his bill down, and Kahurangi Carter stands by the decision.
I think that if people are trying to cheat a drug test, then there's some deeper issues that we need to focus on.
I was disappointed the other parties didn't support it, but really the challenge is back on them now, that they need to think about whether we want these sold openly over the counter.
We would say, no thank you, let's focus on the real issues here. This is tinkering on the edges, and there is some really important work that we need to do to focus on harm reduction. People want us to take a health approach rather than punitive. At the moment, with all these punitive measures, it is drugs that are winning the war on drugs.
Well, look, we can have a big philosophical discussion about drugs and the legislation. I firmly believe that we shouldn't be openly selling a product as a way of cheating a drug test.
My goal was to start a conversation, and I think I've done that. No matter where you stand on this issue, let's keep talking.